In episode 525, Jose and Ryan catch up with Michael Plumides to talk about his new book, Nocturnity, and his partner Scott Hansen for the upcoming film Adaptation, and we also talk about his newest movie, Devour. This is the Clive Barker Podcast, where longtime fans Ryan and Jose interview guests, bring you the news, and take deep dives into Barker-related stuff. This episode will be available in podcast audio and YouTube video. This episode is sponsored by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Don Bertram is a longtime friend of Clive and advocate of his art, but Don's unique and inspiring paintings are for sale, and over 50% of the proceeds go to the Arts and Medicine program at the Texas Children's Cancer Center. There's even a paver in Washington, D.C. representing Celebrate Imagination. We're thrilled that this worthy cause is sponsoring our podcast again this year, and we hope that you'll consider looking over his Pinterest page and commissioning a painting of your own. For commissions, Don requires no money down, and there will be no obligation on your part. You can also head over to the Etsy shop to buy one of his books, like A Chimney Sweep's Tale, Celebrate Imagination, or The Imaginaries. Follow the link in the show notes, or click on the side banner, and let's see what's new with Don Bertram today. Take a look at Don's most recent paintings, The Flame and Shooting Star. Let's welcome our other sponsor, Ed Martinez, and his YouTube channel. Lots of great special effects videos and Barker-related content. What's the latest from Ed? We have a new sponsor. It's the Now Playing Podcast. Arnie, Stuart, Justin, Marjorie, and Brock host a long-running movie review podcast and have a comprehensive blog with book reviews. Check out this one on The Hellbound Heart. They've even written a book on underrated movies. They started in 2007, but the podcast really took off when they began doing movie retrospective series in 2009, like when they did Friday the 13th or all the Stephen King movies. They've even covered Clive Barker movies in some Patreon exclusive episodes. Please check out the Now Playing Podcast, and if you love it like we do, you might want to help out their donation drive. Here's their most recent stuff. The movies they're covering right now are The Strangers Chapter 3, Dracula, Strangers Chapter 2, and The Bride. All right, well, welcome to episode 525 of the Clive Barker Podcast, and we're joined again by Michael Plumides. You were with us over a decade ago, actually. Yeah, around 2012 through 2014, I think we talked to you around Occupy Midian and the Cabal cut, which later, evolved into the director's cut, which you were an executive producer on.
Yeah, those were exciting times.
Definitely.
I kind of just stumbled into that, really. You guys were trying to, get that screened at the first Mad Monster party.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'll be this weekend.
Right. It's come full circle.
Eben McGar at Mad Monster asked me, hey, listen, can you help us screen this thing? Because we need permission from Morgan Creek. I don't even think we met. I didn't even see the screening at Mad Monster when the Cabal cut screened. I had Connor McCullough and little Addie Miller in the center of the ballroom doing a makeup exhibition, and I couldn't really be there, but I did get the permissions from Morgan Creek for that to screen. Yeah. And then I kind of found out about your movement, the Occupy Midian movement, to get the film made, etc. And then I was approached by David Robinson, said he signed me up as a creative consultant and on a TV series actually that never happened.
Right.
But I said yes. So I said, well, what we need to do is there's some juice with this Cabal cut thing, and let's do a director's cut and do it that way.
You kind of started out making your first book. It was called Kill the Music, right? With some of your experiences in the music world.
It kind of starts off with me in college radio, and then I went into the nightclub business during the moral hysteria of the mid to late 1980s. The club that I owned, we hosted Soundgarden, the Black Crowes, Widespread Panic, Bad Brains, Erosion of Conformity, yes, and we were infamously shut down by the Guar show of September 1990.
That's right.
And the only time, the only time I ever got my name in Rolling Stone was in the police blotter.
Yeah.
Yeah, people can hear
that whole thing was chronicled in Guar's movie called Phallus in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, correct. I remember I was in jail with David Brockie, and I was looking. He had his head shaved. I was looking at the back of his head, and he had all these like scars. He's dead now. Right. Everybody's dead.
Yeah.
But he had this scar in the back of his head. I mean, and I asked him, well, how did you get that scar? He goes, I got kicked in the head with a steel-toed boot.
Damn.
So he was a real, I think he got beat up by some skinheads or something. But we were in jail together. We were spent the night in jail together. And since I was a license holder, I owned the club and had the ABC license in my name. They revoked the ABC license. Devour, ended up getting nominated for a Grammy, and I was driving a busted Pinto. So no, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad. I did have to do 120 hours of community service.
Oh man,
wow!
In 3 months, I had to finish it.
Devour didn't win that Grammy though.
They did not win the Grammy. They were nominated. They were nominated for Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Long form video.
I had a weird relationship with Dave, and nobody else in the band got arrested. You know what I'm saying? It was just him. It was just him and me. So that was our unique experience together. When he put us in the squad car, the policeman asked David Brockie asked the policeman, "What are the charges?" And the policeman pulled out a mead. Remember those mead pocket?
Yeah.
And he pulls out the mead little notepad, and he said, "You have been charged with disseminating obscenities, which is a felony in North Carolina, for simulating ejaculation with a 2.5-foot latex penis, simulating sodomy, and eating feces, and without missing a beat." David Brockie says, "You mean you can't do that in North Carolina?"
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Guy. I maintained a relationship with him after, and I promoted some more Devour shows. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to do a Devour show at the Mad Monk in Wilmington, North Carolina. Where they film a lot of movies there, classic movies like Blue Velvet. Supposed to do a show at a place called the Mad Monk there, and I went by there the night I was with my brother Damon and a couple guys, and we stopped off there to drop off some flyers for that show that was coming up in January, and we were on our way to Chapel Hill to see the Pixies. Nobody was there. I slid the flyers underneath the door, and we all took a piss off this. They had this old rickety. It used to be an outside area, like with a deck, right? But all the boards were all kind of like bent up, like this. And it was like just a matchbox, just waiting to go up in flames, right? So we were all taking a piss off the back porch of this place. Maybe flicked a cigarette down somewhere or whatever. So we go to see the Pixies, and this guy was crowd surfing, and he lands right in front of my brother Damon and pukes all over him.
Oh.
And anyway, we ended up the next day. I'm calling, trying to call the Mad Monk, and the phone's busy. I finally called this guy Dick Hodgen in Raleigh, and he used to manage a band called Johnny Quest. He also engineered or produced Corrosion of Conformity's Technocracy EP. Anyway, so I called Dick. I said, I've been trying to call Mad Monk. He goes, "Mike, you didn't hear? The Mad Monk burned down last night."
Oh.
And I'm going, "Oh, Jesus Christ, we burned down the fucking Mad Monk." Yeah, he burned down. Yeah. So it turned out a rival club owner set it on fire. So my conscience is clear.
So you're coming full circle from that original Mad Monster party where they screened the first Cabal cut. Now you're going to be there promoting your new book called Nocturnity, right?
Yes. Here it is. Yay, Nocturnity. Like I said, and we featured some of the art that we did for a comic that we were shopping for a little while. We kind of like pulled that off, and we were going to get the book out. But we're going to be bringing Scott Hansen on board a little bit later. I guess he's going to come on in about 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Scott and I are making a Nocturnity film, and I got stickers. We got the stickers here.
Excellent.
And, and we got these, and I went and cut these at Kinko's myself. Use their paper cutter. It's got the Devour on one side. This is an RSVP ticket, and then the other side is Nocturnity. And
nice.
I got a nice write up from. Do either of you guys read Jonathan Mayberry at all?
I can't say I have. No.
Okay, well, he's a friend of mine. He wrote a nice. He's a wonderfully weird trip. Michael Plumides breathes new life into supernatural thrillers with this wild tale.
Oh, cool.
And Jose did a review.
That's right.
You can find it on Facebook. You can find that at Famous Monsters of Filmland. Famous
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was.
So we got all that.
Yeah, it was a fun read.
Yeah, I had done some work on the Clive Barker's Nightbreed TV series, and it got tabled, and I never got paid. So I'm going, okay, well, I've got all this material that I wrote, and it basically I kind of like had made Clive's characters mine anyway. You know what I'm saying? I kind of changed them to fit my idiom, I guess. So I wrote out all Clive's characters and made them my own. And Jose, you saw the kind of the comparisons. We made the comparisons, but it's really not. You give me a little bit. What do you think?
Right. So I do remember there were some parallels there. You kind of reused a few things here and there, but then this is a big book, and I do remember when you were working on the TV project. You had a few episodes written down and stuff, which was kind of the beginning. Kind of parts of it were kind of used in the beginning of this book, but then you completely created your own mythology for this book. So just so people know, the story follows Jade Winters. He's our main character here, and he's having some nightmares about this attack on a place called Nocturnia, and he keeps having those nightmares, and he feels out of place. He feels kind of like an outcast, and so it turns out that he's going to be pretty special, and there's going to be a lot of adventures that he's going to go through. There's a nostalgic kind of outsider angst following Jade Winters. There's some nods to classic monster movies and some pop culture Easter eggs in it. It's an excellent story because it follows this kid finding out that he's special, and his mother has some backstory as well. His dad is not in the picture. So his dad was a guy called Marcus Groom, and he was kind of a scientist. He had kind of I wouldn't say an enemy, but a competitor, a Miles Farron kind of guy. So
Miles Farron's a great villain. I mean, he was really fun to write. The thing about Miles Farron is we're all products of our environment. And what's weird is the way I ended up kind of writing each character. It seemed that everybody had a fucked up childhood. Everybody had. There was no family unit, no going to church on Sunday, sitting around the family dinner table. And for whatever reason, and maybe it's because I'm from my parents were divorced or got separated, and when I was 10 years old. Maybe some of that kind of shines through, that every kid has either a divorced parent or is their parents are dead, or I don't know really why that. I guess it's because there is no family unit in our society anymore.
Sure.
And nobody's really procreating as much as they used to. But anyway, Jade is the vessel. He's the one that kind of brings in all of these really interesting characters, Argastus and Lexi Minx, and Sayer. And obviously his father, Marcus Groom, who he never knew. His mother would never talk about him. And when Jade starts having these nightmares, she's going, how is he reliving what we experienced? And there's a, and you wonder if their experiences are being passed down on a genetic level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what instinct is.
It's like his blood remembers.
Yeah.
Right. So there's this supernatural world that the humans don't know anything about. And there's also, that's kind of the parallel between Nightbreed and Nocturnity. It even sounds it's kind of like remember Helmet? Remember the band Helmet?
Yeah.
Ryan, right. The guitarist splintered off of that band, of a Helmet, and formed a band called Handsome because he wanted Handsome to be before Helmet in the record bit. Right. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, Nocturnity would come after Nightbreed, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
in that,
you have two sets of villains, right? Because you've got the Metal Congress, and then you've got Miles Farren in the U.S. government, and
yeah,
Miles
ops.
Farren is sort of manipulating the government to
Miles
get what he
Farren,
wants.
because of his rivalry with Marcus Groom, the rivalry just kind of shows how trite and how, I mean, you see all of these world leaders, these people controlling billions of dollars, and how little pissy they are about the littlest thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want to get someone fired because they criticize them on TV. You know, that kind of behavior. There's kind of that governmental influence that Miles Farren has because of Marcus Groom. Actually, I think the way I write it is Marcus Groom beat him out of a chair at Oxford or something, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he was upset about, you know, I mean, and it's just kind of a trivial kind of thing, you know, that you hate. I think that comes from when I was back in the nightclub business. There was this guy, his name was Jeff Lowry. He was my nemesis. Okay. And I tried to work around him. He was doing everything he could to compete. He was like just a really competitive guy. And matter of fact, even before the Guar show, the infamous Guar show, he negotiated to buy my building.
Wow. He was really trying to get you out of business.
Then he came to the Guar show, and vice cops come in and bust the show. And then he was there. He was there and he bought the building. So I think maybe subliminally, you know, that's the between Miles Farren, the
right.
The rivalry between
did
Miles
he call the police?
I don't, possibly.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
He may have been the one. But guess what? Yeah. He's dead. I win.
That's right.
There you go.
I said everybody's dead. They're all dead. I'm
but for example, so the Nocturnes have this kind of mythic origin. They've been persecuted by humans. They've had to deal with their great departure. So they went to this other place called Nocturnia. And that's the dream that Jade keeps having, is the attack on Nocturnia, when Miles Farren was able to find the way to open the doorway that Marcus had created to go into that. Marcus creates it, and then he offers himself up as a guinea pig to go through, you know, and to test it out himself. Yeah, because the university at the time that he was working at, nobody would agree to do it, and they were feared the liability of it, so he did it himself. Obviously, Miles Farren was spying on him, and Miles Farren went behind him, went and wearing his special suit
costume, I guess. Yeah, his suit.
Because
his suit.
It's like an insect exoskeleton.
He's in the artwork. He should have his eyes should be a little more buggy. I wanted the eyes to be a little bit bigger. It was a really fun book to write. It took me a long time. And matter of fact, I had writer's block during COVID. That would have been the perfect time to finish it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny that after COVID was over is when I picked back up and started writing it again. But, you know, as part of our business that Ann and I have, you know, we refinish. We have Bird Dog Vintage design and accessories. And we just had, my garage was filled to the top with mid-century furniture that I just started working on during COVID. I finished it all and I sold every bit of it because IKEA and all these people were all backed up. They couldn't get shipments in, et cetera. That's when our business really, really took off during COVID, which is interesting. A lot of other people were out of business and we were doing well. And now we've got more shops than we've had in years. And Ryan, what do you think? You're sitting over there looking pretty.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was definitely a page turner. I just found myself not, you know, because I'm working overtime every day, and so I keep wanting to find time to read it, and it was hard. I could get maybe 1 or 2 chapters done a day, which wasn't enough to get through the end. But I've got about 100 pages left, and I'm intrigued to kind of see what how it all comes to a head between the three factions, right? Because the government and the Nocturnes and the Metal Congress, which is like kind of a weird, chaotic element to the whole thing.
And then you've got this, these local law enforcement guys that have no idea what's going on, and they're trying to put this all together. And I think that's one thing that ends up kind of like slipping through the cracks is their involvement in this thing. It's weird because it's like a county sheriff's department who really doesn't know what it's up against. It has no idea what it's dealing with. Now, back to Miles Farron, the slasher character. In the next book, okay, I'm working on the next book. It's called Nocturnity, The Edge of Chaos. Miles Farron's an agent of chaos. He's an agent of chaos, and it's just because of the things that he's found out about his past. And also, he's made billions of dollars off of this tech that he created. So you know what happens when these people become billionaires? They just fucking go crazy. The social aspect of it is these people don't have any social skills. And once they become billionaires, they become more isolated. And then they become absorbed with what that guy over there is doing, and he wants to go to Mars. Well, we want to go to Mars too. Well, you're going to build robots. Well, we're going to build robots. Well, you're going to create a toxin that's going to kill millions of people. Well, we want to do that too. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain isolationism to being that person. And he was always isolated as a boy in the Jar. Have you read the Jar yet, Ryan? The origin story of Miles Farron? Yeah, about the praying mantis. You remember in the monarch butterfly?
Oh yes, yeah. No, I did. Yep, I did read that. Yeah.
His dad has dark secrets of his own, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and there's a little parallel there because the dad is kind of a little bit like Decker in Nightbreed. We got Scott Hansen aboard.
That's right. Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the Barker Cast. Scott Hansen, the director of Devour, which is coming out soon. Probably you mentioned something about coming out in September. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we're coming out in September-ish. They haven't told me an official date, but that was one of the dates thrown out, like late September, early October, probably.
That was a heck of a movie to watch. That was really fun.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Explosive movie, I will say.
Exploding heads.
Very violent.
A lot of gore, a lot of blood, a lot of like cute vampires, particularly those. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Scott, we're going to screen Scott's film Devour at Mad Monster Party this coming Friday at 11:15.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He's bringing 100 or maybe even more Devour posters to give away or to buy. He hadn't decided.
I'll give them away. They can have them.
We're going to pay for this shit somehow.
It's better promo to give it away.
Yeah, we're giving it away. All right, yeah, and we're going to screen the movie. You can pick up the RSVP from my table. Scott and I will be there. The doors open at 6. But you guys, this is airing afterwards, so why am I even fucking pimping the shit? This is gonna air. Anyway, we're on our way to Mad Monster Party. It's gonna be this Friday.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So for people that are going, this is gonna come out on Sunday morning, which would be, I guess, Sunday afternoon in your time. So if you're listening, run over to the booth before it closes.
That's right.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, Scott, tell them a little bit about your film and, what's going on with Raven Banner and what's going on with Epic Pictures and what plans for the film are going to take place.
Yeah, the movie's called Devour. It's 4 chicks in a metal band who are vampires, and they break down in a small town full of cannibals led by a warlock. So it's a very, very batshit crazy, weird situation. If I was to pitch it to some of my favorite movies, I'd say it's a little bit of Big Trouble in Little China meets From Dusk Till Dawn vibes.
Oh yeah,
it's it's very bloody. It's funny. It's weird. I kind of come from a music video background, so I'm already like really into like metal and rock, and there's just not enough stories in that genre, I think. But we sold to Raven Banner, who's behind a bunch of like huge horror movies, and then Epic Pictures, obviously
Yeah.
Terrifier. Terrifier can thank Epic Pictures for, launching them into the stratosphere. But
They
yeah, we
almost
saw.
made Jacqueline S for Clive Barker. I still have tote
Oh,
bags, promotional tote
yeah.
bags from that movie
Right.
that didn't
Oh,
happen.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's the one, Scott. That's what I told you. They had Lena Headey
Yeah.
attached to it at one point.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in the poster and everything.
dang.
Hey,
Oh,
Ryan,
Wow.
you're a metalhead. Scott has done videos for Seven Dust and
Oh,
Meshuggah.
wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Everybody.
could tell
What-
from the way that the
The Virginia
what-
bitches.
Virginia
Virginia
bitches,
bitches.
that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Tell
don't know
them
why
about
my
the
memory
music.
is shot. I just saw it last night. But yeah, the way you shot them and in their performance looked really good.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a music video.
And
Yeah.
Heidi Shepard, who's in the band, she's one of the vampires. She
Yep.
has her own band called Butcher Babies, right? Yeah, yeah.
Which person was she? Is she the singer?
She's the blonde
Lead
with the
singer.
curls. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the singer, right?
right.
Yeah.
She's on
Yeah.
tour right now. Yeah, she's literally
wow.
on tour.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she's
cool.
in Florida right now, and she'll be in Atlanta on Saturday. So yeah, it's
Was that
cool.
really her voice
tell
in
about
the
the
vocals
Yeah.
of the band? Wow.
Yeah, that was her voice. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Tell them about the music. Tell them
Oh
about the
yeah, and
music.
then we have a full album coming out. We've released 3 singles. We just thought it would be a fun way to connect with metal fans and rock fans to put like real music out with the movie. There's 3 songs on Spotify, Tidal, Apple, whatever you use. There's like 15 songs coming out. So it's just a fun way to cross promote if people like music and
Oh wow.
like metal. But yeah, Heidi sings the songs, so that's kind of cool. A wild indie shoot. It's an indie movie. It's super indie, tiny budget, but we pulled every trick you could pull. Brought in Wayne Anderson, who did our werewolf suit and Minotaur
Yeah.
suit and Bat
Yeah.
Creature. And
He worked in movies like Jurassic World and The Predator.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean he did it like the face and the teeth for Stephen King's It with Skarsgård. Like the
Wow.
dude is the Predator 2017. So I mean getting him was like a dream, somebody that stature.
That's
They usually
awesome.
work on big movies, but getting him in was awesome. So
Wow.
Is there like a connection between this movie and Bad Candy? Because I noticed both of them take place in a place called New Salem, so that seems like a go-to place. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen Bad Candy, that's awesome. Like Bad Candy was our first movie. There's a horror anthology of Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Zach Galligan from Gremlins.
Mhm.
If you're any Gremlins fans, but yeah, it's a continuation of that same world. And then we have a third movie already written, supposed to have
Sweet.
Keith David in that one.
Oh,
And
wow.
a couple other people. I can't say just yet, but yeah, it's like a horror verse,
Yeah. And you have Gavin Wilde as well, who was in The Black Phone, and he was also in Bad Candy. Now he's reprising. He's also in this movie as a roadie.
He's a roadie, and Gavin's great, man. He's also
He's a great,
in,
funny character.
he's also in the HBO The Righteous Gemstones. He's a big character in that on HBO. So he was great. He was just a great character, good actor, but yeah, he's been in some big movies.
One of the funniest characters in that movie was Fat Carl. I loved his story arc.
Yeah, Fat Carl's great. Gotta love Fat Carl.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's pretty ambitious. There's like some real amazing monster suits in this movie.
Yeah.
Of course, the main villain, which we're not going to spoil, but another monster that's in a fight. Those were just incredible suits. Great job on the whole action sequences. They were amazing.
Oh,
They were
and it's practical.
Yeah, a lot of it's practical. A lot of the
Yeah.
practical effects were pretty good.
Yeah, there's visual effects too, but I mean, mostly everything's practical. It was a 52-day shoot, which was crazy for an indie film. We
Mhm.
ran out of money 5 times, and I literally would have to pause and go do a couple metal videos to pay for the shoot. Like it was crazy. So it's totally labor of love, like everybody working their ass off and trying to make something. And now we got a theater deal. So that's cool, like it's
Did you start this movie through crowdfunding or?
we did an Indiegogo and it raised like 60, 70 grand and then really got us moving. I put in some money and then, I had found some investors and just kept going. And it was kind of like we shot part of the movie and then we ran out of money and then had to show what we shot to investors and go shoot another part. And it was just kind of crazy because we were working with, I actually lost Gavin for 8 months to HBO. They stole him for a nice chunk of change. I couldn't, but he had to cut his hair, which kind of screwed us up for almost a year. So we had paused everything and had to wait on HBO, but it was cool. But yeah, three years, with the pause.
Wow.
So 2 years to kind of flip this movie. Yeah, and it's finally coming out. So
for the next 6 months, you're going to be promoting this stuff, and it's going to go through conventions and stuff. You're also going to be in Days of the Dead, right?
Yeah, Days of the Dead this weekend. We'll be Mad Monster Party. We got Texas Frightmare, Garrett Fest.
All the good ones.
Trying to do everyone we can, So yeah,
awesome.
Trying to do everything we can just to get it out there because there's no market. They don't give you a marketing budget for the horror con, so it's like you got to do that yourself, which is fine.
And is there going to be a theatrical run?
Yeah. I know we're getting a theatrical for a week, and it depends on how it does to get more theaters. But yeah, no, I'm excited about that. They just had it at Berlin as well for the international markets. So they're selling it to different territories right now to kind of like all put that same release together with other countries. So, yeah, man.
So now, very excitingly, what are we doing, Scott?
Yeah, we're working on Nocturnity next. We're about to start casting for that and get that movie going too.
Nocturnity hit the top 100 at 95 this afternoon. And let's see what it is. Teen and young adult zombie.
That's the main place where people can get your book.
Amazon has it in paperback and the Kindle. He's working on it. We were talking to John Wells, who is in Devour. And I've known John when we won for Ghost Trek. We won Best Comedy at Friday Night Film Fest. John's movie Overtime with Al Snow won like 11 awards. And I was going, what the fuck are we even doing here, man? And then I ended up winning one award. But John Carpenter was there. Anyway, useless trivia. So John Wells is in his movie, and he may be playing Argassus.
Okay.
And we have a guy working on the headpiece. Yeah, the headpiece with the tendrils and everything. And he's also doing Miles Farron's mask.
Yeah.
We have an early script. We're probably going to have to do this one kind of piecemeal like Scott did before. I think that he and I get along well. We think alike. We've both had a lot of the same kind of experiences regarding working at radio stations and I think it's going to be neat. We're going to co-direct it, and he was kind enough to allow me to do that, and then I'm writing it. We'll be true to the book pretty much.
Excellent. That's a great story. So looking forward to it. And John Wells did a great job in Devour, the monster hunter that comes in and is pretty badass. He's a pretty badass character.
Thank you. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
That minigun, did that work? Scott?
Yeah. It was a prop. It did spin. That was pretty fun having all those guns.
So it spins.
It reminded me of the scene in The Predator, the original Predator.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, just the body. Oh, Jesse the body.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to bleed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
It's an interesting theme. And also we forgot to mention that there's a particular character in the book, Father Athanasius, because we didn't mention that Jade has a girlfriend called Becca, and her dad is like a pastor.
Yeah, Becca, and Matthias is her dad, and he's a masochist and a real weirdo. Yeah,
he's another kind of like smaller villain in the story that hates Jade, but for reasons that are not connected to his inheritance or his prophecy. He's really, like you said, he's kind of like a weirdo. He's got a lot of hangups.
You try to psychoanalyze yourself sometimes, if you can't afford a psychiatrist.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you're always trying to figure out why you think this way. I noticed over the years, I think our parents probably had more hangups than we did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why. Maybe it was societal. Maybe there are some people with some hangups. Jade's boss, he's got some hangups.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Bill.
Bill
is kind of
the ultimate betrayal. Guy that wants to be your dad, and then offering you up, kind of thing.
That was one of my favorite parts. Him trying to lock a werewolf in a freezer.
Well, yeah, he's kind of a werebeast. Do you remember the island of Dr. Moreau?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like trying to go to some different influences, and Planet of the Apes was always a big influence on me, and Island of Dr. Moreau. And
the Sayer is a character that reminds me of a character from the island of Dr. Moreau, the Sayer of the law, right? The giver of the law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Sayer of the law. Yeah, you could definitely see that in there. There's the Sayer. Clive has some influence there. Matter of fact, Doug Bradley, who played what was his character in Nightbreed?
Lylesburg.
What did he play?
Lylesburg.
Yeah. Yeah, he was maybe an influence on that, but not really. I always thought of Sayer looking kind of like Jethro Tull. Not Jethro Tull, the guy that invented the crop rotation. I'm talking
the music, the guy who created the music group. Yeah.
Music guy.
Playing the flute.
Right. Yeah. But definitely that kind of like a sharecropper with the corncob pipe and, kind of overalls. That's kind of like how I imagine the character, but, possessing this keen intellect and keeping all of this knowledge in his head, because if he didn't, then who would?
Yeah. He's kind of a Luddite. He doesn't like technology and stuff. He's very old fashioned in that sense.
Well, that's what makes our gases fun, is because he's on a journey as well. Not going to let what happened to Nocturnity happen again to him.
I'm glad that you guys were doing that. I like the idea of this coming to life in a movie. Definitely want to support that at every stage of the way. Devour, and what a heck of a movie. That Jerry, 900-year-old vampire, he's quite a character too.
Yeah.
He carries that whole thing.
Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing, and I love all the monsters and all the blood and all the gore. It's just so good. We'll definitely leave a review on Letterboxd. I actually have the page open for Devour right now on Letterboxd. There's a few reviews there. Some of them are 4 stars. 4 stars by Vancouver Horror Show, Caitlin Newberry, John Wells, like you mentioned, Gavin Wild, Heidi Shepard, Alexandra Lucchesi, and a whole bunch of other great talented people. And excellent poster, which I see is in the back there on your wall. Looking forward to hearing good things from the convention screenings.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Filmmaking is a collaborative experience. Everybody's got to kind of keep their head about them, dealing with people, and artists are fickle and fucking weird. Scott and I think we have a pretty good relationship. He was up here in Charlotte. He's down in Atlanta, in Conyers, actually, outside of Atlanta. And I'm up here in Charlotte, and he was up here 2 weeks ago. We didn't swap spit or anything, but we did some shots. And
yeah, I was going to say this book is on Amazon, and keep an eye out for Devour, and you can watch Bad Candy, I think, on Tubi, correct?
Bad Candy's on Tubi, iTunes, Amazon. Yep. Yeah,
good stuff.
Nocturnity website is Metal Congress, METALLKONGRESS.com, metalcongress.com. You can read all about it. And there's links at the bottom to Scott's Digital Thunderdome, which is his company, Kill the Music, which is my book, my first book that we talked about earlier. And then the links for Nocturnity and links to Ghost Trek, how I met John Wells. It's all just, it's like a big circle jerk. We all know each other through somebody, and we've all kind of been around on the circuit, and it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know Scott, it's weird because John, I know John, Jose and Ryan, I met through Mad Monster Party.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
When they screened in 2012. 2012. Is it 2012? Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. We're old.
It's been a while. It's been a while. And people can find a merch store at digitalthunderdome.com/Devour for stuff about the Devour movie. You can get beanies, hoodies, all the good stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your time here today. And I know, Michael, you're already working on the second volume of this book. I was lucky enough to get a little glimpse of a chapter. So Metal Congress is going to be in there. That's going to be pretty interesting.
How did you like that? Did you like that? That chapter was very topical.
I like it. I think we're going to be seeing more of the Metal Congress and the Black Sauna.
Well, now you're spoiling them that they don't get killed in the first book.
I guess you got me on that one.
The Schwarze Zone.
The Schwarze Sonne, right? The Black Sun, which was this esoteric society.
I'm not saying that in a Mel Brooks sense. I'm talking about the Black Sun.
Right.
Or a Soundgarden sense.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
excellent.
Black Hole Sun. Yeah. You know, that's a funny. You know what? I gave Chris Cornell and Matt Cameron and Kim Thale a ride to the hotel when they played at the club that time. They encored with Big Bottom by Spinal Tap and and Earache My Eye by Cheech and Chong.
Wow.
True story. All right, guys. We'll catch up again. Hopefully soon.
Thank you so much for your time today. And
hey, man, let's get Chinese eyes, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, that just blew my ear. All right, guys. Thank you, and best of luck with the conventions. And thanks for joining us again. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Coming next, we're going to have the Clive's Commentaries, contemporary commentaries, commentary. I forget whichever way you say it, from 1985, and the winner was Silver Bullet, the werewolf movie.
Oh yeah,
Very topical. I have not seen that since I was a kid. I probably rented it. I don't think I saw it in the theater.
Wow,
it's like a kid in a wheelchair and a werewolf versus a werewolf. Yeah. So that'll be
based on a Stephen King story, right?
Yeah, and so that's what people voted for. So that's what we're gonna watch.
Is Gary Busey in that?
I don't remember at all.
All right, good. Yeah, we'll find out again. I mean, it's been I've seen bits and pieces of it on TV many decades ago. So I guess this will be interesting.
Yeah, and then we'll have the portrait study, which we're working on putting that together. And more news and interviews. And we want to give a Patreon shout out to our patrons, David Anderson, Eric Vandeholt, Daniel Elvin, Amanda Stewart, Bradley Gartz, Matthew Batten, Bennett, Jesse, Clara Leslie, Timothy Ray Makers, Terry Murdoch, and our sponsors, Don Bertram, Celebrate Imagination, Ed Martinez's YouTube channel, and the Now Playing Podcast. Man, I've really gotten into the Now Playing Podcast now. Every time I watch a movie, I search first to see if they have talked about it, and then I listen to that right after I watch the movie. So Star Wars is cool. My most recent one. I just watched the Laserdisc of Star Wars last night because I got a replacement Laserdisc player.
So you see it without being the special version, right? So you see the original. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched the original. But that was kind of my first memory of watching movies and, hooked up into the stereo and having a kind of a theatrical experience was because, in 1980, VCRs weren't in stereo, only Laserdiscs were. And probably Betamax. I don't know. I didn't have that, but
I think I remember the first time I ever saw a Laserdisc was at this guy's house, and he was telling me how it had digital image. And I'm not sure if Laserdisc at the time had digital audio yet, or was it still? I don't think it was digital.
They do, you can. There is an optical port on the back of some of the players.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Now Playing Podcast has one of their latest episodes, like The Bride from 1985 with Sting, I think. And
that could have been our choice for our episode because it's 1985.
And also there's a new Bride movie coming out with Christian Bale, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. I don't know if you've seen the trailers for it.
But that's probably why they're doing it, because they like to cover a whole series.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's Jennifer Beals is the bride, and I think Sting is Baron Frankenstein. So I've seen bits and pieces of that too. It's one of those movies that you're not sure if you saw it or not, but you definitely saw bits and pieces here and there. I guess I'll be listening to their episode and watching that movie soon. Like you said, it's probably a great experience. I like podcasts that talk about movies. And I know that I don't want to talk about any competitors here, but there's also another podcast that talks about horror movies. And I like listening to them because they go through the beats of the film, and sometimes they bring guests in to talk about it. So that's always.
Oh, that reminds me. They're now playing podcast. The last episode I just listened to was on Rampage, because we were talking about it and we interviewed Jason Lyles and stuff.
That's right.
They weren't big fans. The monkey. They liked Jason Lyles, but they weren't big fans of the movie.
Yeah, there were a few scenes that were a little over the top, but I guess that's what you watch those movies for, the over the top scenes, right? The special effects stuff, the monster fighting. Yeah. So that's always very cool. Looking forward to that portrait study. Of course, the one that won was the self-portrait by Clive Barker, which painting I haven't seen in many places other than his Deviant Art that's now defunct, and it's also on the Revelations website, and I think it's from 2015.
Yeah, so, and I looked after you mentioned that. I flipped through my whole Visions of Heaven and Hell, and it's not in there for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a lot to go through the Imaginer books, right? They're these ones. That's 1,200 pages when you add them all together, I think, something like that.
Yeah. And they're all made to be just one big voyage through Clive Barker's art, because those numbers continue from one volume to the other, right?
Yeah. And I think the last book is where you find the index, right? That says which paintings are on what. Actually, that might be a good place to look, is in the index.
Yeah. Always good.
But he's got more than one painting called Self-Portrait, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think you'll have that many, right? Maybe a handful of them. Yeah.
Maybe I can look at that. I'll definitely figure it out before we get to the episode where we do that.
Okay. And this podcast, having no beginning, will have no end.
Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed or followed our podcast. You can find the Clive Barker Podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that's not affiliated with Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. You can chat with us on our Facebook BarkerCast listeners group, our Facebook page, Reddit, Blue Sky, or our Discord server. Have you already bought our book? The BarkerCast Interviews Occupy Midian, available in Amazon hardcover, Kindle, and Apple Books. Join our Patreon and become a patron to get access to exclusive stuff, pick an episode topic, or maybe join in the discussion. You can also buy a t-shirt in our TeePublic store. Just go to teepublic.com/stores/BarkerCast. Leave a voicemail for us on the SpeakPipe link on our blog, and we might put it in the episode. Opening and ending music generously provided by Ray Norrish.
Thanks for listening.